So let's go ahead and also talk about question 3, which is asking us about this is completing square method anyway. So the question is saying let f of x being equal to negative x squared plus 2x 2 plus 2x plus 1. Part 1 is saying by completing the square express f of x in the form of f of x is equal to a open brackets x minus h squared plus k, where a, h and k are constant to be determined. Part 2, sketch the graph of f of x indicating the turning point, x-intercept and y-intercept. Okay, so let's first start with the first one. So the first one, guys, is when we're dealing with completing square method, you first have, this is a function which is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So you always factor out a. In this case, a is negative 1. I'll factor out negative 1. Then here is positive. So if I divide that, it's going to give me, if I divide negative 1 into positive 2x is negative 2x. I divide negative 1 into positive 1 is negative 1. Why am I doing this? If I multiply this by that, by everything inside, I should go back to that. Okay? So now from here, what I'm going to do is, we know that completing square method, when the moment you factor out a, the next step is you write this, then you do plus, okay, open brackets, half of the number which is having x. So what is the half of the number which is having x? The number which is having x only, not x squared, but x only. So, or if you don't understand when I say half, you do times the number which is having x, do times the half, which is the same as half. So it's going to give me negative 1. So I'll put negative 1. The moment you find this, you have to square it. Then the same thing, just do minus, you get the same thing. Square it, then minus 1, like that. Okay, so the only trick part here is this part. You get the number which is just having x. If it is negative, just get as negative. Do times half, times 1 over 2. Find the answer. That is the answer you're going to put there. Already you have put plus here. Then you have to square. Minus. The same things which you have put in the brackets here, they are the ones you're going to put there. Then square it as well. Okay. Then now, the next step, you rewrite this. The next step, guys, is you have to get this and that. So this you are going to ignore it. So you are going to write now, you open, then x minus 1. They are both squared, so you just put square. Then minus is this one. Negative 1 squared is 1. But again we have got 1. You keep on bringing 1. X minus 1, you square it. Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. Like that. When you reach at this point now, we want to make this in a form of, we have been guided, okay? We've been guided already. So now what I'm going to do, the next step is I need just to open the big bracket. So I'll multiply negative 1 with everything. So I have negative 1, then x minus 1 squared, then negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. So I can clearly see that this thing which I've been asked to find, a x plus h or x minus h squared plus k, is basically equal to negative 1 x minus 1 squared plus 2. So a is negative 1, h is 1, then k is 2. As simple as that. So I've expressed this in form of that. Now the next question is asking us with sketch. Now sketching, we need first to come up with the turning point. The turning point, how do you find the turning point? The turning point is where the graph is going to turn. So you get x and y. So x, you get the opposite sign of what you have here, the number which doesn't have x. That is negative 1. The opposite of it is 1, comma. This constant just get the way it is. If it is positive, get positive. If it is negative, get the way it is negative. So I'll put it in there, positive 2. That is my turning point. After finding that, the question continues to say we need to indicate the turning point, which is that what we have found there, the intercept, which is y and x intercept. Let's first find the x intercept. So how do you find the x intercept? To find the x intercept, set y equal to 0. So it is now 0. The equation is y is equal to negative x squared plus 2x plus 1. So you equate y to be equal to 0. What is happening, guys, is this. In most cases, sometimes if you want, you can use product sum, but in most cases you use the quadratic equation formula because it doesn't work when you use the product sum. It's not factorizable. So the product is negative 1, the sum is positive 2. So the product is less than the sum, so it's not possible. Okay, and this is negative unless this was negative, but still it doesn't make sense. So I'm going to use that other method, which is x is equal to negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4 ac. I divide this by 2a. We plug in the values. X will be equal to negative b plus or minus, but let's first plug in the values. Why am I writing negative b again? X will be equal to, so now this is a, this is b, and that's c. So b is basically negative 2, or is 2, but it's going to be negative plus or minus, then again 2, I square it, minus 4. A is negative 1, c is 1. Divide this by 2, that. Negative 2 plus or minus, this will be 4 plus, okay, it will be 4 plus what? Because why is it going? It's going to be 4 plus 4. Negative 2. Then x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus, this is 8. I have negative 2. So to simplify it, it's the same as I say x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4. It can be the square root of 4 divided times the square root of 2. I divide it by that. So x will be equal to negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 is 2 root of 2 divided by that. Okay, we get rid of this because I want this to be just here. So x, we have got negative 2 plus 2 root 2. Or before I even go there, to make things simple, just here x will be equal to, I can divide everywhere, okay, with 2. So it's going to be negative 1, okay, then plus or minus, here is also 1, so it's just the root of 2, then divided by negative 1. So that I come here and say x will be equal to negative 1, okay, plus root 2, then again here negative 1, or x will be equal to neg 1 minus root of 2 divided by neg 1. So now I can find the values of x. So x will be equal to negative is going to be positive everywhere here. It's going to be 1 minus that. Okay, then the other one will be x to be equal to everything will be positive, like that. So these are the x-intercept. Then to find the y-intercept, equate x equal to 0. So you just plug in where there's x, put 0. So you have, I can put, I think, the x-intercept here. X is equal to 1 minus root of 2, and also x is 1 plus root of 2. Okay. So to find the y-intercept, how do we find the y-intercept? So y-intercept, you have to equate x equal to 0. So what is happening, guys, is y is equal to negative x squared, yes, plus 2x plus 1. Plug in where there is x with 0. So y will be equal to, this is plus 1. So everything here is going to be 0, is going to be 1. So y is 1. Okay. Now, after finding this, what next are we supposed to do? The next thing we have to do now, we can sketch this. Okay. We can sketch this. So how do we sketch? Now we should understand that the one which is going to be to the positive side, it is 1 plus 2, because 1 minus root of 2 is greater than 1, so it's going to be negative, but it's going to be just near here, so you put 1 minus root of 2. Okay, 1 plus root of 2 is greater than 1, so this 1 for the turning point, or let me say this, I'm going to put 1 plus root of 2 here. The turning point, we have got 1 and 2. The y-intercept, where it has to cut in y-axis, let me put 2 on top here. In y-axis is at 1. What does it mean? It means that the graph is going to touch this, is going to cross this point and that point, that is x-intercept, and also y-intercept that. Then it has to come, this is the turning point where the graph is going to turn, 1, 2. When we reach at 1, 2, it is here. Okay, that's 1, 2. So when you reach here, it has to turn. So the graph will look like this. It comes there, it reaches there, then it turns like that. Now let me draw a neat line. It reaches there, it goes like that. Yeah. So this other one, I can get rid of it. Okay. Yeah. So that is the graph of, so you even indicate here, this is 1, 2. So if you want, yeah, that is how we do it. So f of x, you even put it like that, is equal to negative x squared plus 2x plus 1. As simple as that. So it is not complicated to do completing square method. So here I've exhausted almost everything. But now in a case where the same question, now I'm going to explain everything here. So this is the answer actually for sketching. But in a case where, guys, they ask us to sketch the same thing, where now they just add a modulus here. So they add a modulus, they want us to sketch the part having negative, just reflect it to the positive part, like that. Then delete this. That is when there is modulus. What if there is a modulus, but again there is negative outside? There's a modulus, but again outside there's negative. What it means that reflect the positive part here to come this side. So meaning that here there will be negative 1, here there will be negative 2. So it will come there, it will punch there, you just reflect it down part, it comes there. Then you get rid of, if you want you can leave this one in dotted form. the original one. If there is modulus, then there is also negative outside. That's what we do. But for this one, there is no modulus and there is nothing, so the answer is just that is the graph which we have found there. That's all. So that is it for this question.